So the challenge we were faced at Intergen was we were looking to build out a data team, data and analytics team. So the challenge was, how do we build that data team? I'm not a data expert, my background's trading. So it was looking to see who could help me build that team. So, Rob, you were very good in terms of bringing the people and talent aspect to it. I don't have the contacts in the data space. It was through yourself that we were able to make those contacts, and then it went from there, just kind of through the bringing in some contractors and then moving on to the actually recruitment a permanent role for ultimately Chris coming in as a head of data and analytics.
Having been doing this now for quite a long time, we recognise that no individual challenge is ever identical to any other challenge, and the end goal here is massively important. You're trying to find as close to perfect individual as you possibly can. So you've then got a balancing act between a process that's rigid and allows clients and people involved in the process to have reassurance that, firstly, everything's following the plan, and secondly, there will be a desired outcome at the end. But then you have to build in flexibility, because every now and again we do have to take a deviation. Yeah. And it's natural. And what we've tried to do with with the process that we've built is allow for both scenarios to occur. I personally believe that the advantage of this solution, particularly working in an industry that's based upon logic and certainty and outcome, is that this particular solution gives all of that, whilst at the same time, and you spoke about it earlier on, those weekly collaborative meetings allow that flexibility to change the direction of travel as and when required. So you've got that predictable outcome, but it's not a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter approach. It's a predictable outcome based on what you need.
If we went out and did this ourselves, it would be an enormous job, whereas you're right in saying it's not thrown over the wall and saying, come back in 6 weeks and tell me who we're hiring. You have to buy into the process, you have to be involved in it, and that allows you to get the right person at the end of the day and see what's out there.
We like to think that, and for every single one of these projects that I've been involved in has always ended in the same way, that the client has felt that they have got the very best person that they could have got. They've put in the hard yards, but the outcome has been far in excess of what they would have got if either A, they'd thrown it over the fence and just seen what came back, or B, tried to do it themselves with all the accompanying pressures on time and resource. Talent gets itchy. If people haven't been spoken to in a good few weeks, or if they haven't been kept in touch with, or they haven't been nurtured and nourished, they'll drop out of a process, and then sometimes the very best people are lost through no fault of your own, other than you're just not got the capability and resource to manage that.
And I find if you've not got that defined time period, it can just drag on and on and on, because everybody's busy with the day job, and then suddenly I need to get back to that person with a CV or an interview, or schedule it for 2 weeks' time, and then suddenly it's like 8 weeks down the line, you've not even through the process.
Yeah, so through just typical conversations I was having with NBN anyway around recruitment, informally I had discussions about this, and it was raised purely as something of curiosity, that it might be of interest, in a light and tactful way, that made me genuinely interested in it quite early on, but didn't put any pressure on me such that I could go away and do a little my own research and understand what it was that NBN were trying to do with Intergen. And then the more I learned about it, the more I talked to NBN, had conversations, it became more interesting to me, and then gradually kind of naturally formalised from there. So yeah, really supportive and open, but a process without any pressure.
So I would, the solution has worked for us, and it's something that would definitely use again in terms of if we need to deliver this kind of specialist role.
That's the thing from our perspective, is that it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, but it definitely works when there are mission-critical hires needed to be made, and if there's a technical or seniority specialisation, and there's not a lot of runway. And if that's the scenario, and that's why when we first started having the conversation and I said, look, I've got an answer to this particular challenge, it's because there are conditions that are particularly prevalent within the data industry where this model is a sensible idea, it's a sensible approach, it's a sensible way of doing things, because the fundamental that we're trying to do here is back to that human thing. We're trying to deliver the best possible results for human beings with human beings, and trying to make sure that the end result is exactly what's been requested.
For critical hire, with those different aspects, and and not really knowing exactly what the end result is going to be, then the solution worked for that, definitely. So in terms of the solution they provided, it was absolutely what said in the tin, in terms of it was set out the process, the timeline, what we wanted to deliver. We brought Chris on board. It was absolutely what we wanted. Yeah, the solution has worked for us, and it's something that would definitely use again in terms of if we need to deliver this kind of specialist role.